Kershaw Fraxion, or if you choose to pronounce it, Fraxion. You can if you want the way that it's spelled. I think it's supposed to be fraction, though. I got this for just over $30 from knifecenter.com. Has an 8CR 13 MOV blade, so perfectly fine blade material for the price you pay. But this is a little bit smaller than what I usually tend to get. This has a 2 3/4 inch blade length, but nice materials, again, for the price you pay, with real CF as the insert here, and that's milled down very nicely against the G10 overall handles here, the overall scale. So just a little applique, and I believe that's actually, I think it's epoxied to the G10, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't tried to take this apart, but I believe it's epoxied in and then milled afterwards. So all this is milled. The G10 is actually milled along this whole surface as well. All this is milled, and I think these are milled together because the transition is almost impossible to feel. It's just so smooth in there. And you get a big piece of CF on the other side as well. That's also very smooth around the transitions. So that's pretty nice. Stonewash blade here. Feels really good in the hand. Like I say, it is smaller than what I'm typically used to getting and handling. But for its size, the ergonomics are good. I can get a nice secure grip. I really like the jimping here. This is just pretty perfect here. I usually don't care that much one way or another, as long as it's not sharp around the edges. I can go with smooth just fine, no problem. But this just feels good to me. It feels very natural. All the positions where I'm able to, or where I feel the need to put pressure on all the parts of my hand are feeling good. I can choke up pretty far on this. I can get a little bit farther back, even to where my pinky finger is barely getting any support whatsoever. Still feels comfortable, the overall shaping. It's pretty thin, pretty crisp around the edges, for lack of a better term, but not sharp. I hate it when G10, or especially CF, is milled too sharp, and you have just a sharp edge there that can practically give you a cut. I don't feel that here at all, so that's good. It's thin, but does not have very much of a deep carry clip, not much at all. I mean, a lot of this actually sticks up. I feel like they could have gone a little bit deeper with that, but just changing the shape down here. It is well centered from top to bottom, so this is not going to lean. Of course, it's not going to be open when you have it in your pocket, but it's not going to lean to one side. Pretty well balanced in terms of the center of gravity being right down the middle, and the pivot is there as well, so that's all good. There's only one thing that I do not like about this, at least so far. That's the opening. So this is not spring assisted. It has a small flipper back here, very small flipper, and the ball detent is just too strong. It gets in there and it wants to stay. Now this locks really well and consistently. Helps to get a little bit of flick on it. Helps a little bit, get a little bit of additional momentum on this thing. But the flipper is short, and the lock mechanism is just too stiff. So that needs to be tuned out. I actually need to take this apart, get in there, and take the liner out and bend that back a little bit. They just went a little bit too far with it. I don't know if it's going to be like that on all of these models. It might be worse on the one that I got in particular. It's just a general production one that I got, but we'll have to see. But that's just a little warning. If you're looking for something that's easy to deploy, this might not necessarily be the one, unless you're willing to do that little bit of tuning that I feel is necessary. It's not the pivot. The pivot is nice and loose here. See, no worries there. That's completely loose, but it's just the lock. But beyond that, pretty good. The clip is reversible also. Good news for lefties, for sure. And yeah, I like the look, I like the feel, I like the balance. Ergonomics are good. Most things about the materials for the price, all good. Just needs that tuning of the liner, and I think it'll be pretty solid. Hopefully that won't be an issue with most of them, but if it is and you end up getting this, at least you will have heard in advance about it, so you you know what to look forward to. And like I said, take it apart, bend that back just a little bit, and make sure you don't go too far with it so it becomes loose. You know, care about safety first, but you can fix the problem if you like the rest of the knife.